Okay, welcome back, everyone. What we're going to be looking at here is the microscope, and this does show up on your first lab exam. There's a few questions that will pop up on this. So let's see if I can do a good job in explaining some of the parts of the microscope. If we were in a traditional lab, we would run through this. You would actually touch and be able to feel these parts and manipulate them, and we would put a slide in and practice using them. So for our purposes, let's understand some of the anatomy to a microscope. So the bottom of it is called the base, and this is where our hand would hold it whenever we're moving it. And on the base, we do have the power switch and a light control all on the base. At the very other end is the head. And on the head, we have these ocular lenses. This is what we're going to be looking through. And these are manipulable, right? You can manipulate them and separate them. All of our eyes are at different depths. Some are wider, some are closer together. So we're going to be looking through the ocular lenses, and you should not confuse the ocular lenses with the objective lenses. Changing the objective lenses by manipulating the rotating nose piece moves the objectives from, let's say, a 10x to a 40x to a 100x. And by changing the objectives, these powers, it changes whatever we're looking at on the slide from smaller to larger. Okay, so it changes the perception of what it is we're looking at. The slide is held in by these clips on top of a stage. And this stage that holds the slide, whether we're looking at a slide of an eye, a neuron, muscle, heart tissue, connective tissue, this stage can move up, down, left, right, or forward and backward. So when we're moving it up and down, we're using what's called the coarse adjustment knob. And the coarse adjustment knob is the larger knob, whereas the smaller one is called the fine adjustment knob. The coarse adjustment knob moves the stage up and down, and moving it very little creates a lot of movement up and down. Okay, so if the stage is very close to the objective lens and you use or manipulate the coarse adjustment knob a little bit, the objective can actually hit the glass of the lens of the slide and break it. So knowing how close these two are to each other is very important, because if you're too close, it makes more sense using the fine adjustment knob, whereas maybe moving this 2 or 3 millimeters can move the slide up significantly, whereas rotating the fine adjustment knob almost one full rotation around moves the stage ever so slightly. Okay, so if the stage was below the objective by at least an inch, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to move the coarse adjustment knob up a little bit to see what's in the field of view. But as you get a little bit closer, hands should come off the coarse adjustment knob and go right to the fine adjustment knob. And that brings it into a better view. Now, these two knobs, the mechanical stage control, we have this one here on top, and we have this one here below. There's two controls. One of them is going to slide the stage forward and backward, and the other one is going to slide it left or right. And I'm not going to test you on which one goes forward, backward, left, and right. I just want you to know that you have the coarse and fine adjustment knob that brings the stage up and down. And then moving it left, right, forward, or backward are the mechanical stage controls that are more vertical, up and down this way. We have a diaphragm, an iris diaphragm lever right here. and moving this lever back and forth, it's going to be like a pupil. It's going to open and close to allow more light or less light to shine through the mechanical stage and go right through the slide. Okay. Here is the substage light. So the substage light is going to shine up here, and then the iris diaphragm is going to open and close to allow how much light actually shines through the mechanical stage, through the slide into the objectives. Okay, so those are the main parts of a microscope. It should be an easy 2 questions that you get. Okay, you shouldn't miss any of these because it really is a quick labeling of it.